What's up, guys? So a lot of people ask me about the best way to start a career in Japan. Today, I want to take you guys through my top 5 tips for getting a good job in Japan that is not English teaching. Alright, tip number 1, develop your skills. What skills do you have that people in Japan are going to want to pay you money for? Can you write code? Are you an expert on trade relations? Can you translate Vietnamese to Japanese? You're going to need to figure out which of your skills there's a demand for in Japan, and then brush those skills up to a point where you can market yourself to Japanese companies. Okay, tip number 2, get your foot in the door. Unless you've got a super rare, super in-demand skill, or you work for an international company that already has a presence in Japan, it can be pretty difficult to start a career here while you're living abroad. You're gonna have a much easier time applying for jobs in Japan once you're already here. If you're from a country that has a working holiday visa agreement with Japan, I'd highly recommend applying for that. On a working holiday visa, it isn't difficult to find contract or temp work, especially in the hospitality industry. Bad news for Americans here, we don't have the working holiday option. So if you're American, I would still argue that your best option for getting your foot in the door is to come on the JET program. If you're not able to come on JET, only then would I start to look at the private staffing agencies which hire English teachers in Japan. You guys have probably heard all the horror stories about Japanese English teaching companies, so do your research and tread with extreme caution if you decide to go that route. Okay, tip number 3. Volunteer your time. So you've made it to Japan, but you're not at your dream job yet. Maybe you're working the front desk at a hostel, or you're an assistant language teacher. Whatever that foot in the door job is, chances are you're not using skills that are related to the job that you really want. So how do you showcase those skills? Volunteer them. Maybe your favorite neighborhood cafe doesn't have an English menu. Offer to make them one. You have a friend who makes traditional Japanese crafts, build them a website. You might not be getting paid for the work, but you'll have plenty of stuff to talk about in your interviews and to put on your resume when you're actually applying for the job that you want. Okay, tip number 4. Network, network, network. It's true for every country, but it's especially true in Japan that people like to hire people that they already have a good rapport with or come recommended by trusted friends. Once you're in Japan, put yourself out there as much as possible. If your town has an international association, join it. If there are social events in your town where you can meet and mingle with the locals, go to them, because you never know who you'll become friends with. Okay, tip number 5. This is a predictable one, but I think it's super important. Improve your Japanese. I know there are some people out there who argue you can get a good job in Japan without speaking great Japanese, and for some positions in some industries that might be true. But why would you limit your options? Speaking good Japanese opens so many doors, and you'll be way more competitive. The old rule is that to work at a Japanese company, you need to have at least passed the N2. But to be honest with you, if you can go to a career fair and chat up the recruiters in good Japanese, no one is even ever gonna ask you if you've taken the JLPT. So that's it, guys. Those are my tips for getting a good job in Japan. One huge caveat that you have to keep in mind, obviously, we're going through a global pandemic right now, and people from other countries still aren't allowed to enter the country. So all the things that I've mentioned just now apply after things have settled down and you guys are finally able to come over here. So good luck out there, guys. And if there's something that I didn't talk about, some other question that you have, please leave a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please subscribe.